What's up guys, Pablo here with another video, and today we have the unboxing and my first thoughts and impressions on the Vapormax 2021 Flyknit by Nike. Since I've only been able to wear the shoes for about a week, these are only my initial thoughts on the sneakers, so keep that in mind while watching the video. Also, I will be referencing the Vapormax 2020 in the video that I did for it, so if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, there is a card on the screen right now and a link in the description so you can do that before watching this video. The Vapormax 2021 was released towards the end of June 2021. The sneaker is the latest take on the Vapormax silhouette by Nike, and as the name states, is a 2021 version of the shoe. The shoe retails for $200 US, which is actually $20 less than the price for the Vapormax 2020, and it brings us back to the original retail price for a Vapormax. The shoes came in Nike's environmentally friendly shipping packaging, unlike last year when they sent me the 2020s in the regular shipping packaging, which didn't really go along the lines of the sustainability theme behind the sneaker. Just like last year, however, they come in a shoebox that is filled with messages and logos regarding Nike's sustainability efforts. Also like last year, nothing comes included with the shoes, not even a piece of paper to cover the shoes themselves, but this is primarily to emphasize those sustainability and no waste efforts by the company. The colorway that we have today is the Armory Blue colorway, and it consists of Armory Blue, obviously, light smoke gray, metallic silver, and white. When you first take the shoes out of the box, you can tell that they are basically the same as the 2020 version. You can spot a couple minor changes, but the biggest and most noticeable change is without a doubt the lacing system at the top of the shoe, but we will go more in depth about this later in the video. The shoes are, according to Nike, made from at least 40% recycled materials by weight, which is actually 10% less than the 50% that we saw on the Vapormax 2020, but since this one is missing the pull tab and the fly ease mechanism, that could have added to the total on last year's version. Now, Nike might have had a couple shoe boxes for the 2020 laying around still, or they messed up a little bit. The shoebox still has the message that claims that this product is made with at least 50% recycled content by weight, which is not. Not something super relevant to the shoe itself, but I thought it was interesting that they overlooked a mistake like that. But anyway, the shoe's basically all recycled materials, but there are a couple aspects that stand out. The upper is made up of recycled post-industrial yarn, just like last year, but although Nike doesn't claim it's different, the Flyknit felt a little bit more solid to me. It was still breathable, flexible, and all the other good stuff, but it felt like it was slightly more durable than the one that we saw in the 2020. The clip on the heel is made up of recycled TPU, and it seems to be the same one as last year's version, just without the pull tab attached to it and the unique color pattern. The insole features the Nike Sunburst logo, which represents their efforts towards circular design in order to make their products more sustainable for the environment. Recycled rubber sits below the bubble to add extra protection and traction. This rubber was made from Nike Grind, which is the repurposing of manufacturing scraps in order to be used in something new. These are all aspects that were also found on the Vapormax 2020, and I want to emphasize again that this 2021 version is basically the same. The Vapormax 2 Air unit, for example, is exactly the same as the one that was introduced last year. There is, however, a few and slight changes that were added to this 2021 sneaker. The first one that caught my eye was the stitch swoosh on the medial and lateral sides of the shoe. Last year, this Nike logo was blended with the upper, and I was not a huge fan of it. This one is more visually attractive, and it contrasts a lot better from the rest of the upper. Nike also changed the tongue, going from a slightly padded one on the 2020 to a more traditional flat tongue that has been featured on previous Vapormax models. This made a bit of a difference with the fit of the shoe, as the tongue on the 2020 was a bit uncomfortable at times because of the outline that it has on the padding or around the padding, and it would sometimes bother the top of your foot. The biggest change of them all, though, without a doubt, is the standard lacing system that the Vapormax 2021 features. This system is what fixes the 2020 version and the major complaint that a lot of people, including myself, had with that shoe. Standard laces provide a way more secure and snug fit and just an overall better look than the 2020 did, because the shoes are more adjusted to your feet. These standard laces are possible due to two strips of material attached to the top of the shoe. And these two strips are actually very similar to the ones that we saw when the first Vapormax came out with its laceless and Comme des Garçons versions of the shoe. I was honestly expecting more of a loose fit due to the strips of material sitting at the top of the shoe and not grasping more of the sides of your foot like flywire would, for example. But this was not a big of an issue though, since the shoes are more narrow by nature and the laces just help with them adjusting a bit more. Something that I found very interesting is that the laces are circular at the bottom of the tongue, and as they move up the tongue, they become flat. Again, I thought it was pretty neat, but didn't make much of it. However, Seth Fowler did bring a really good point on his video where he mentions that flat laces are better for tying up the shoe, and circular laces tend to be better for lacing or adjusting the rest of the shoe. Which then makes more sense as to why Nike designed the laces the way that they did. Now, there is one concern that popped into my mind as I analyzed the laces a little bit closer. The string or wire that runs through the strips and acts as lace hoops for the laces seems to be kind of thin. Not as thin as the strings that held the 2020 together, but thin enough where it could wear out over time. I've had shoes before with these kind of lace hoops, and the friction of constantly lacing up and using the laces eventually caused them to rip. And for all I know, I might be overthinking it, but it's something I'll definitely keep in mind. Also, the downside to all of this is that the idea of having the fly ease mechanism so everyone can wear the sneakers was put on hold due to the laces being added. Hopefully Nike is able to reintroduce the fly ease concept into the sneakers without giving up quality, or perhaps they can create a version of each like they do with a couple other silhouettes. Now, I wore the shoes for a couple of days and for long periods of time during those days. I have to admit that although these have a better fit than the 2020, they did get pretty rough to wear after some hours. Wearing them at first feels great, but my feet started getting a bit tired, for example, towards the end of an 8-hour shift. Now, keep in mind that this all could be because I have wider feet and the shoes have a more narrow fit on the other hand, so I am a bit more prone to get uncomfortable with them. Something I didn't bother with was trying these for performance. Nike admits that the Vapormax was originally designed with performance in mind, but now they are categorized as lifestyle shoes under the website. I said it on the video for the 2020 and I will say it again, it feels like these could cause injury if worn for performance, so be very careful if you decide to use them like that. Overall, Nike fixed the Vapormax 2020 with the new lacing system on the 2021 version while maintaining the sustainability concept and keeping most of the shoes design basically the same. And that was it for today's video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it and got something useful out of it. If you did, please go ahead and hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons down below. It would mean a lot. Also, if you have the Vapormax 2021, go ahead and leave a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions on it so other people watching can also consider them. And thank you guys so much for watching. Pablo, out.